The Valley Current.
Usually, hiring a top-tier law firm is like installing a state-of-the-art security system, right? You just assume they're keeping the threats out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But today, we're looking at this explosive new report from the Entrepreneur Law Group where, well, the security system basically locked the homeowner out and just handed the keys to the burglars.
It's a pretty crazy situation.
Right. We're diving into a massive $25.4 million malpractice judgment that just came down yesterday, July 27, 2026, against Cooley LLP, which is, a top 15 U.S. law firm.
Yeah, a massive player in the space.
So let's unpack this. How does an elite firm that literally calls itself the definitive legal partner for innovation end up owing millions to a startup founder?
Well, it comes down to this perfect storm of high-stakes venture capital, impossibly compressed timelines, and really blurry allegiances.
Yeah.
To see how the lawyers ended up on the hook, we kind of have to look at the founder's nightmare scenario that kicked this whole thing off.
Right. We're talking about John Gregg, and he gets entirely squeezed out of Symbiomics, which is the company he founded. During the VC negotiations, he gets fired, and then the company repurchases 28% of his equity for, a penny a share.
A penny a share.
He walks away with just $6,670.
And the real gut punch here lands a few years later when that exact same company is sold for $150 million. And Gregg, he gets absolutely zero.
Wow. I mean, it's like building this sprawling mansion from scratch, and then you're forced to hand over your keys for the price of a sandwich, and you just have to watch the investors sell the estate for an absolute fortune.
Exactly. Which begs the question, right? How did an intelligent repeat founder end up agreeing to such devastating terms?
Right.
Well, the jury pointed the finger at the legal representation sitting across the table. But looking at the source, we really have to examine both sides here because the claims paint two completely different realities.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I kind of have to push back on Gregg's side of the story a bit here. Cooley's defense seems pretty ironclad on paper.
It does, yeah.
They argue Gregg was a highly sophisticated party. He signed multiple engagement letters and releases that explicitly stated Cooley only represented the company. Not him personally. I mean, if he literally signed away his rights in black and white, shouldn't that just be the end of the story?
You would totally think so. And Cooley strongly disagrees with the verdict. They actually plan to appeal based on those exact documents.
Okay, yeah.
But Gregg argued that Cooley was giving him personal legal advice almost daily, while simultaneously negotiating opposite the VCs.
Oh, wow.
Right. He also highlighted that Cooley had a $500,000 fee that was contingent on the VC deal closing.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, which he claimed incentivized them to just rush the deal through, regardless of the actual terms.
Wait, so if Gregg signed papers saying they weren't his lawyers, how does a jury legally decide that they were?
Well, in the legal world, a signed piece of paper isn't the only thing that makes you someone's lawyer. If a lawyer starts giving you personal advice and you rely on it, even casually, like in a quick email or a text, a court can determine a de facto attorney-client relationship exists.
Seriously, just from an email?
Just from an email. Basically, the court says, congratulations, you acted like its lawyer, so now you owe him a fiduciary duty.
Meaning you're legally bound to protect his best financial interests above all else.
Exactly. And the jury found that Cooley crossed that invisible line.
It sounds like that $500,000 bonus for closing the deal might have, blinded them to where that invisible line even was.
Oh, absolutely. And that contingent fee brings us to a much bigger structural flaw in the VC world that this report exposes.
Which is?
It highlights this dangerous equation. Matter complexity divided by time equals cost.
Break that down for me. What's the actual mechanism making that equation so dangerous?
Think about lawyers working on 3 hours of sleep, juggling founders, VCs, company boards.
Right. Total chaos.
Yeah. When you compress a highly complex 30-day multi-party negotiation into a frantic 3-day sprint just to hit a closing deadline, boundaries get really blurry.
I can imagine.
A lawyer shoots off a quick late-night text saying, yeah, John, this term looks okay for you. And suddenly, they've accidentally created an attorney-client relationship.
Oh, man.
When you prioritize speed over proper disclosure, The cost of mistakes just skyrockets. It's just that the cost is deferred.
And that deferred cost is staggering. I mean, in this case, it was 9 years of brutal litigation. That time added $9.77 million in fees and interest on top of the original jury verdict.
A tab that is still growing by $2,787.57 every single day until it's paid.
That is just wild. And I think it's a huge takeaway for you listening. If you are ever at a table signing complex agreements, you really have to ask yourself, is the time frame actually matching the complexity of this deal, or is speed being prioritized over proper disclosure?
The ultimate lesson here is that rush deals with misaligned financial incentives carry devastating delayed costs.
Totally. And here actually is where it gets really interesting. The report notes that conflict of interest malpractice claims hit an all-time high in 2025.
Right.
So with the sheer volume of high-speed venture deals closed during recent tech booms, how many other supposedly successful startups are actually sitting on billion-dollar legal time bombs, just waiting for a sideline founder to finally pull the thread?
Tune in next time on The Valley Current.